So yeah, okay, so obviously this is the brand new Young Green campaign, and we're quite proud of it. And the reason why we're doing this is because Young Greens actually have a 5-year plan, because we are actually starting this committee of the Green Party. And I rocked up the Young Green Committee about 3 years into this, and I said I really want to do something about sort of, organising and sort of trade union stuff. It turns out we had to do a campaign on a non-student issue, so I'm really pleased that I rocked up and did something good for a moment. Yeah. So yeah, basically, why are we getting organised? So because organisation, organised labour movement, it's been really powerful. Romayne at the beginning sort of said about how all the great things that trade unions have achieved in this country, and a lot of that was under a Labour government. I mean, why not? It should be. And but obviously, it's going to be really interesting now to have a Labour government who's going to come to power probably in 2015. I might just undo some work they've already done, which is really weird. But yeah, so obviously it's important that we, as Young Greens and Green Party members, and just generally good organised people, actually join trade unions and get involved and actually stop those cuts and stop those reversals of trade union rights, and even the EU, which would take away some of our employment laws, and actually get some benefits ourselves. There's a lot of individual reasons we want to join a trade union, but there's also the good collective stuff as well. And also, the Green Party is really great. Well, I think so. And why shouldn't more trade unions agree? And I think the work Romayne's done, and a lot of the Green Party's done, we've never seen so many trade unions and trade union stalls at our conference and stuff, and trade unions working with us. And I think this sort of pound play sort of really shows that. And I think until more members of trade unions start saying the Green Party is great and affiliating and motions at conferences and stuff, and we're not going to see that really. I mean, we can keep doing these great policies about fair pay and a great minimum wage and a citizen income, and talking about sort of we're against outsourcing and democratically democratically owned industries and stuff. But until the trade unions are actually getting involved with that, we're just going to be the great people who won't be called the mainstream party, for example. And also, being young really sucks. I mean, I don't have to tell anyone else in this room here, but yeah, I've been a young person for quite a while now. And I keep a certain age. I'm over 25. I thought I was young, but Young Greens came along, and I'm still young, and most trade unions say I'm 27. But in Europe, apparently the average young person is under 35. So it doesn't matter. I'll be young forever. But yeah, but obviously, being it's pretty hard, and obviously with that's the benefits. Schools getting worse. I mean, there's some children who got involved with Sherstart centres, and then under Labour, and then they went to schools under Michael Gove, and then they're going to finish. They're coming out of the schools after a really terrible education, probably not the fault of teachers. Obviously, they're very hard-working, but Michael Gove's cuts and changes, and then they're going to find that they can't get any benefits because Labour's apparently going to change that, so you can't get any benefits if you're under 21, haven't paid enough national insurance. It seems really weird that we're just making it harder to be young. And it seems like we have a government who enjoyed free education, and there wasn't like a secret left-wing crazy government who just did all this stuff out. No, these are just moderate governments brought us free education, and moderate governments gave us workers' rights. So I think obviously we demanded those worker rights. But yeah, so we can keep doing that, and we can stop future generations of young people saying that it sucks for young, but actually it's great. So yeah, the launch of Get Organised is now. Obviously at the back we have the campaign guide, which most young green groups will be getting, and really talks about how you can get involved with trade unions, and obviously in your in the southeast, and how you can actually get involved with those groups of your campaigns. You also have a leaflet, which is like a sort of a generic sort of why you should join a trade union leaflet, which you should be giving out to your members, and you should be giving out to the young people you know. And basically, we want to create a culture of cooperation between young green groups and local trade unions, because the Young Greens have a fantastic campaign called 10 to 1, which is the Fair Pay on Campus campaign, which is talking about how the average person is we want to change the ratio so it's a fairer pay, and want to talk about that. But also next year we're going to move that into sort of local authorities. This year we're looking at sort of gender pay gap at universities. So yeah, but that's really good. That's all well and good. But until we start working more with trade unions at UCU and the unions on campuses and in our local workplaces, and actually in London, the free, I always pronounce it terribly.
Free process.
That's it. I'm just saying because I've already ever read it and it's just never works. Anyway,
I just met with them recently at the V&A.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
And the worked really hard with that and got that campaign going. So it is good. When students work with trade unions, they put amazing things campuses and workplaces. So yeah, that's the first phase. And the second phase is like week of action. November is Young Workers Month. Seems like a really good time to have a week of action. We also have National Demo, at the same time. So it seems like a really good time to start building on campuses, and like lots of other student groups and young groups will be doing exactly the same stuff. So we should join in and do a lot of great stuff about young workers, talk about education and really linking up all the great work we're all doing. Then the third phase is sort of join a trade union. A lot of 20 to 30% of graduates only joining a trade union, which isn't enough. We want 100%, or as many who want to. And so after a year of the action of all these things we're doing with our young green groups and campuses, we need to see young people just joining trade unions at that stage. So yeah, that's the year going on. At the Young Green Convention, we'll be sort of talking about the guidance for how to do the second phase and how to do the level of action. But yeah, so that's really where we are with this, and really it's about your input now, because the campaign's been created, but actually until young green groups and Green Party members and trade union activists get involved, it's just a really great idea. Like the Green Party has a lot of great policy. So yeah, so basically that's the if you want to look at any materials online, do check out that website address. That's my Twitter and that's my email if you want to ask me any questions or get some materials or basically get organised with the Young Greens. So yeah, I'll take a few questions now and we'll just talk about this.
Sorry, have you got the whole...
At the back we have the leaflet and
do you want them all to be taken away back to the regions and local parties?
Most Young Greens are having their packs already. But also we have a bunch of trade union leaflets and forms at the back because you know.
And the Green Party Trade Union Group leaflets. Make sure you've got some of them in your local party that you can put out on the stalls, or that if people are talking to you that you've got something to show them. And there should be one available online as well. So that's just the backup for the main party. But this is an absolutely fantastic campaign that you're launching, Tom. So if you want to field the questions, and I'll try and mutually choose who's going to interrogate you.
So basically, just let you know, there's also a lot of trade union forms at the back because we're told to join a union. It's a good opportunity to go to join a union.
Fantastic. Right, hands up then, and I'll do a flurry of. Right, I'm going to start at the front this time and work my way back.
Yeah, I'd just like to raise a point that talking about the links of the Green Party and trade unions. I mean, a lot of unions, such as Unite, that I'm a member of, you are allowed to opt out from the political levy. Because I certainly don't want to be funding the current Labour Party. So, unfortunately, there's not an option for it to come to the Green Party at the moment. But at least it's not going to the Labour Party. So I'd certainly encourage young people joining trade unions to make that their views known about where their political levy should be going.
Yeah, good point. Yes, can you stand up?
Yeah, I'm Peter from, amongst other things, I'm a member of the campaigns committee, and I'm really impressed. Well, one of the best things about the Green Party in recent years has been the fact that we are beginning to build links to the trade unions, and one of the other good things, great things about the Green Party in recent years is that the Young Greens are really coming on. Okay, so that's for sure. We actually got a reasonable campaigns committee and we've produced some decent stuff. And please come to the campaign stall before you go and take the stuff away. It's free. We want to get rid of it today. But my pitch and my request is, please, if there are any Young Greens who, as well as doing the Young Greens campaigning, want to get involved in the campaigns committee, it would be really good if a couple of you came for co-option, because there's a couple of spaces that haven't been stood for. Okay, we think we've got quite a good team, but we're all old, we're all blokes, we're all white. Okay, so please, if anybody, Young Greens, feels that they've got a contribution to make to the campaigns committee of the whole Green Party, as well as the Young Greens campaign, contact me or campaigns@greenparty.org.uk.
Thank you. Right, I'm going to go to the back and then come forward. If you stand up at the back. Thank you.
And Young Greens. Good presentation on it.
Can you be a bit louder?
Thank you. Green Party. My question is to do with, I work for a charity and it's a really, really lovely place to work. And we had a big conversation actually around the idea of joining trade unions. And some of the founder directors were actually almost offended at the thought that the people who work there felt that they should, as an insult to them, because they felt they had failed in their desire to build a way of working that was so person-centric. If people felt they had to be outside of that to make sure that their rights were upheld. So it'd be really helpful to hear about reasons that would be the good reasons why you do, which aren't necessarily because you're worried about your own employer, but you want fairness in bigger ways.
Very good point. Yes. If you could stand up. Yeah, in the middle.
Yeah, on that point, Join Unite third unite organisers in the voluntary and community sector, the third sector, and Unite will support you as a worker in your workplace as an individual, but also collectively as well. That's my experience of being working for a charity. Yeah, they do like that, very paternalistic towards you. But no, you need to be in the union to protect your rights, because they will look after themselves, and you need to protect yourself, particularly if you're working with vulnerable people, etc. So join your union, join Unite, the best third sector union in the country.
Very much. Right, any other Young Greens and questions about maybe the campaign?
I'm a member of the Green Party. I'm also working in a charity, and I'm a member of Unite, that part of Unite. And I do it for international solidarity reasons, because I think it's really important that we stand internationally with all workers around the world and workers in the UK, because you're not going to work for a charity forever, and you need to protect the rights of, you know, what's going to happen in the jobs market in general. And, you know, it's about standing in solidarity with everybody in the country, so I think it's really vital. My question was about whether there's been any approach to TC or to any other kind of, I don't know, any individual unions to say, hey, we're doing this campaign. Is there any materials you'd like us to use with the green groups, or, you know, like, so whether we can use it also as an invitation to a partnership?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Okay. So I'll take a couple of questions, especially one at the back. I think it's firstly, you know, your working rights is nothing personal to your employer, because they're an employer, you're an employee, you should join a trade union anyway. But yeah, I'm quite interested. I work for Unison, I'm branch boy staff, and my working conditions, my pay is not awesome. But you know, we're in a trade union because I just got to work for trades, and I don't need support. And whatever charity you work for, they might have a mission statement, they might have something. Use that against and say, you know, this is what you believe in. Why is my worker right any different to that? And it's nothing personal, but at the same time they are your manager, and you might need help once. And your manager might be great for the moment, and the director might be great for the moment, but if there's a new director comes in who's terrible employer, you're going to need some support, and it's just nothing personal, yeah. But in terms of what the unions are doing, RMT and PCS and NUT this weekend have been really positive. Unison Societies where I work, they want to use this for their youth, for their working with young people in the area. So it's starting to get area, and I think by the end of the campaign, towards the end of the year, by June, July, we should see working with a lot more unions, especially on the marches and stuff. But yeah, it's quite early days at the moment. But this campaign doesn't have a time limit. You know, trade unions do tend to last for a long while, so this campaign should as well. So yeah, and get involved with the campaigns committee. That's really good as well. Cool. I think that's it.
Right, another round of questions in the middle there. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alex Rendell from Green Party, and I'm also a member of Unison in my workplace. I work for a university, and we have, in terms of sort of people who would fit in the Young Greens demographic under 30, we don't actually have very many who are permanent members of staff with contracts. As somebody else raised the point earlier on about agency staff, we have an awful lot of people who work in contracted out services because of the tendency of universities to contract out large parts of their catering, their cleaning, their other aspects of the service provision to external companies. So a lot of these people can't effectively come on to Unison on the same terms and conditions because they are contracted out workers. And it's so my question, I suppose, is echoes the question of the person earlier. How can we work more to support people that are on those different terms and conditions? When it's actually very hard for us. We've tried very hard to engage with those external employers, but it's like coming up against a monolith almost. It's very difficult to get them to actually respond to any of our concerns. So just is any sort of is there any part of the campaign that kind of addresses that, and any sort of advice on that would be really greatly appreciated, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll say straight away, really it's about any workplace, any job, it's about creating a culture, isn't it? So the first stage they should start, they should be approached by someone saying, join a union, like straight away, sort of, like anybody, just say, we can go out for a pint every Friday after work. It's about creating the same culture. We're all members of the union here, or we all join the union here, sort of thing, and even lie, say, yeah, we're all members, just get involved. But on a more serious note, it's just sort of, about creating that culture, like this is why we join union. But it is hard, and it is fragmented working, and outsourcing has really made it hard to organise, and temporary contracts, zero contracts have made it really hard, and employers will love this term saying, that trade unions aren't recognised here. And for them, they're saying that trade unions, they're not here. It just means that, there's not enough members to force a recognition deal. So yeah, it's really about just keep pushing. But, trade unions in the 80s were having the same conversation that we've just had now. It's about a lot of effort and using the funding that your trade union has to keep pushing. But yeah, we worked in London with the union campaign. You can work anywhere else if you just keep talking to workers and holding events when they're working, when their free time is. So yeah, it's trying hard, really. So try hard.
Okay, were there a couple of other hands here?
Last round, I'll have to go in a bit.
Right, well,
Yeah.
last couple of questions. Should we get another two or three questions maybe, quickly? Yes, stand up and chat.
I just wanted to say thank you to all the founders and congratulations to you and the Young Greens.
Congratulations to you as well.
Thank you. My question was more about, is there any sort of plan in place at present to actually chronicle the success of the project and the campaign, particularly in terms of actually how many young people have actually heard or decided to join a trade union because of the Get Organised campaign? Because I'm just thinking from the perspective of, particularly when sort of trying to join up and sort of inform other unions of the campaign, it would also be quite good to sort of like a year, maybe 2 years from now, say, show the success of it. And I think it would be quite nice to have some sort of maybe data on that, and really to show that the young unions are actually getting young people to join unions and increasing their membership, something that young Labour and students would do.
I'll take another question in there.
My name's Martin. I'm not a young Green, I'm youngish Green. Going back to the 70s, actually, there was a movement of school students which took action. Iraq War, students came out and they went on strike in their secondary schools. I was a primary head teacher at the time. Year 6 came to me and said, how do we go on strike against the war? And wanted me to explain. That was quite good. But back in that time, one of the things that we used a lot was theatre and education. And I think that's a way in for us to do theatre and education about joining the trade union, about trade union strikes and so on in the past. Something you could hang it on is probably Black History and Black History Week, and something like the Grunwick strike in Willesden, black workers getting organised while they joined the union and the fight that they had and so on. Some of those things are actually much more interesting and involving than lessons and lectures and so on. So if some way we get union funding for a sort of theatre and education to go into schools and offer that drama lessons, a bit of weight off the teachers, an hour off while that goes on, that might go down quite well.
Great, okay. Basically, I think that's really interesting. Every good campaign should be measured. We are talking about the idea of, for the final phase, sort of saying, doing a survey of which some of you have joined, quoting the voters saying, I joined a contribution, this kind of thing. So yeah, there is something in place, but the campaign is all about input, so that's a great idea. Why didn't you do that? We'll do that together. Great. In terms of, I think that sounds like good stuff. Talk to a union, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much.
Okay. Well, I know some people have got trains booked, and I know Tom's got a train he's got to go to. Can I say to you that please do get hold of leaflets, do take the materials, do go to the campaign stall in the corner of the dining hall there and help yourself to those materials, roll things up, slide them in the side of your backpacks and stuff, make sure that you've got materials and join people. I don't know who that is, but it's great.
That was actually my girlfriend. She took a photo of my picture, but my camera was